25 Worst Drug Addictions in Hollywood History You'd Never Recognize Today. They were stars, adored by millions. But behind the dazzling smiles and red carpet glamour lurked a devastating secret: addiction. This video delves into the untold stories of 25 Hollywood icons whose struggles with substance abuse reshaped their lives in ways you'd never imagine. Prepare to be stunned by the shocking transformations and the hidden depths of their private battles. Robert Downey. The remarkable journey of Robert Downey Jr. from troubled Hollywood figure to celebrated actor is truly inspiring. His rise to prominence, particularly within the last 10 years, is even more impressive considering the significant obstacles he overcame. While many know of his past struggles, the extent of his challenges might still be surprising. Downey's legal troubles commenced in 1996 with an arrest involving heroin, cocaine, and a firearm. A subsequent arrest followed shortly after for entering a neighbor's home while intoxicated. These incidents led to probation and a brief jail sentence. Despite these consequences, his addiction continued, resulting in a failed drug test and imprisonment in 1999. Upon release in 2000, another arrest followed just 3 months later, involving cocaine and the prescription drug Valium. However, Downey ultimately found the necessary support to address his addiction. His current success stands as a testament to his resilience and determination. Similar to many individuals who have battled addiction, the star of Iron Man views his past not as a defining failure but as a learning opportunity. At the Avengers Infinity War premiere, Downey reflected on his experiences, saying, "The past for me was 30 years of dependency, depravity, and despair, otherwise known as an actor prepares." His capacity for humor regarding his struggles underscores his personal growth and positive outlook. In a significant gesture, the California governor pardoned Downey for his previous convictions. This pardon, coupled with his flourishing career, symbolizes a fresh start for the actor, who now embodies a heroic figure both on and off the screen. Bruno Mars. The multi-talented Bruno Mars, renowned for his skills as a record producer, singer, and songwriter, has achieved global recognition with chart-topping hits like Uptown Funk and heartfelt ballads such as Just the Way You Are. His extraordinary achievements even secured him a place among Forbes' highest-paid artists worldwide. Yet, amidst this remarkable success, Mars faced a significant hurdle in 2010. On September 19th of that year, at the age of 26, he encountered legal trouble at the Hard Rock Casino in Las Vegas, involving cocaine possession. This event posed a serious threat to his burgeoning career. During questioning, Mars asserted that it was his first experience with drugs, acknowledging the irresponsibility of his actions. To resolve the legal proceedings, he agreed to a plea bargain, which involved maintaining a clean record for 1 year in exchange for dismissed charges. The agreement also required a $2,000 fine and 200 hours of community service to clear his name. Subsequently, in an interview, Mars admitted to being less than truthful about his prior drug use, attributing the incident to a youthful indiscretion compounded by alcohol. River Phoenix. The life of River Phoenix was tragically interrupted by a drug overdose. While considered only an occasional user, his former girlfriend, Martha Plimpton, felt his drug use significantly impacted their relationship. Despite this, they remained close until his passing in October 1993. Upon completing a film in Utah, Phoenix returned to Los Angeles and reportedly engaged in several days of drug use with his bandmates. The night before his death, he is believed to have ingested a dangerous combination of cocaine and heroin, commonly called a speedball. On that fateful night, Phoenix went to the Viper Room, a popular Hollywood nightclub. Feeling unwell and suspecting an overdose, he confided in his friend Bob Forrest. But unfortunately, Forrest didn't initially grasp the severity of the situation. Shortly thereafter, Phoenix collapsed outside the club. His girlfriend, Samantha Mathis, witnessed his seizures on the sidewalk. Although Phoenix was still alive when paramedics arrived, resuscitation attempts failed. He was pronounced dead at 1:51 a.m. on October 31, 1993, at the young age of 23. His death resonated deeply within Hollywood, serving as a harsh reminder of the dangers of drug use, even for those who don't use habitually. David O. Selznick. The man behind the cinematic masterpiece Gone with the Wind, David O. Selznick, navigated a career marked by both remarkable success and significant personal struggles. While the film achieved unprecedented acclaim, garnering 10 Academy Awards, the production process was far from smooth. Selznick reportedly depended on the stimulant Benzedrine to cope with the grueling demands of filmmaking. His reliance on the drug became notorious in Hollywood, with anecdotes circulating about his unusual consumption habits. He allegedly crushed Benzedrine tablets and ingested the powder directly from his hand to maintain energy during the arduous production schedule. This drug-fueled work ethic resulted in an unwavering dedication on set, but also manifested in troubling behaviors. Selznick became known for intimidating others, often under the influence, and displayed an obsessive focus on the actress's appearances, creating a difficult atmosphere for many. While Gone with the Wind reached extraordinary heights, its creation came at a cost. The legacy of David O. Selznick is thus a complicated one. Despite producing a landmark film, his methods and personal struggles cast a shadow over his achievements. Comment number 1 to let me know you'll be watching till the end. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up in this video. Dennis Quaid.
To turn their great talents now to the cause of mankind and world peace.
Dennis Quaid, recognized for his affable demeanor and wholesome image, might appear an unexpected candidate for drug addiction. His past, however, reveals a different narrative, one that contrasts sharply with his current reputation. After arriving in Hollywood during the 1980s, Quaid became entangled in the pervasive cocaine culture that permeated the entertainment industry. By 1987, while filming The Big Easy, his cocaine use had escalated to the point where he was operating on only an hour of sleep per night. The drug's ubiquity in Hollywood was so pronounced that Quaid even noted its inclusion in some film budgets. His addiction soon became untenable, and he recognized the need for change. In 1990, he courageously confided in his wife at the time, PJ Soles, and entered rehabilitation to address his cocaine dependency. This decision proved to be a turning point in his personal and professional trajectory. Quaid's journey to recovery was not without its challenges. His subsequent marriage to Meg Ryan ended in a highly publicized and difficult divorce, adding further complications to his path. Despite these obstacles, Quaid remained committed to his sobriety, describing it as the end of his love affair with me and cocaine. Since overcoming his addiction, Quaid has maintained a sober lifestyle and successfully rebuilt both his career and personal life. Zac Efron. Zac Efron, who rose to fame with High School Musical, has openly confronted significant struggles with substance use. Reports indicate the actor's party-centric lifestyle involved cocaine, experimentation with MDMA, and extended periods of substance use without breaks. In 2013, Efron took a crucial step towards recovery by entering a rehabilitation facility to address his issues with alcohol and cocaine. Beyond rehab, Efron engaged with Alcoholics Anonymous and began therapy to explore underlying emotional difficulties. Efron has been candid about his ongoing battle with addiction. He described it as a never-ending struggle in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. However, he also emphasized the positive impact of his recovery, stating, "I think it has changed my life. I am much more comfortable in my own skin. Things are so much easier now." Efron's reflections on his most challenging experiences provide valuable insight. He explained, "Without those moments where you feel like you're lowest, it is impossible to appreciate the high ones." Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey has touched the lives of millions through her television programs, films, and magazine, becoming an icon of generosity and wisdom, offering empowerment and inspiration. Yet, beneath her remarkable achievements lies a surprising personal battle with addiction. During a 1995 episode of her talk show addressing women and drug addiction, Oprah made a startling revelation. She disclosed to her guests and viewers that she too had struggled with addiction in her early 20s, specifically with crack cocaine. This confession surprised many, including Kim Davis, a recovering addict and mother who was present on the show. Davis later commented to the Washington Post, "It threw me completely off guard. You would never dream she had a problem with drugs." Oprah explained that her drug use was connected to a romantic relationship at the time. She and her partner used the drug together, leading to what she describes as one of her deepest regrets: relinquishing her sense of personal power to a man. Brittany Murphy. Brittany Murphy, the vibrant actress remembered for her roles in Clueless, Freeway, and as the voice of Gloria in Happy Feet, tragically died in 2009 at the young age of 32. While initially attributed to natural causes, her death quickly sparked suspicion and widespread speculation. In the early 2000s, rumors emerged concerning Murphy's alleged use of heroin and cocaine, with her noticeable weight loss further fueling concerns about potential substance abuse. Her marriage to Simon Monjack, a figure perceived by many as troubled, only intensified the intrigue surrounding her personal life. The circumstances became even more unsettling when, just 5 months after Murphy's passing, Monjack also died under strikingly similar circumstances. This double tragedy amplified public scrutiny of the couple's lifestyle and possible struggles with drugs. The coroner's report subsequently revealed numerous prescription medications at Murphy's bedside, leading to the determination of an overdose. Friends of the actress later disclosed that Murphy had become reliant on painkillers following cosmetic procedures, a common pathway to addiction. While the exact details surrounding her death remain a subject of discussion, it is clear that addiction played a significant role in the premature loss of this talented star. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney, a beloved figure from Hollywood's golden era, often seen alongside Judy Garland, led a life far more complex and turbulent than his public image suggested. While he refuted claims made by Garland about MGM supplying him with drugs, the truth remains elusive, as both are now deceased. Prior to Rooney's passing from a heart attack, his stepson, Chris Aber, offered a troubling glimpse into the actor's private struggles. According to Aber, Rooney grappled with a serious addiction to sleeping pills, resulting in extreme mood swings and abusive behavior towards his 8th wife. Despite his charismatic on-screen persona, those close to Rooney described him as privately prone to anger and irritability. Aber further alleged that Rooney subjected his wife to consistent physical and emotional abuse. The reported extent of Rooney's drug use was alarming. Aber claimed that retrieving Rooney's weekly prescriptions required a shopping bag due to the sheer volume of medication. This heavy reliance on drugs allegedly intensified Rooney's erratic behavior, contributing to the turmoil in his personal life. Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy, celebrated for his portrayal of the stoic Vulcan Spock in Star Trek, privately contended with alcoholism, a stark contrast to his character's renowned self-control. Nimoy's drinking began innocently enough, with a single drink to unwind after filming. However, this practice progressively escalated. Reflecting on his struggles, Nimoy confessed, "The minute we finished the last shot, I would have a drink. Then it became a series of drinks. Little by little, before I knew it, I was drinking more and more because my addictive personality was taking over." His colleagues observed that what started as a post-filming ritual eventually transformed into surreptitious drinking during production. Like many individuals in the public eye battling addiction, Nimoy attributed part of his alcohol dependence to the pressures and demands of fame. A troubled marriage further exacerbated the issue, leading him to rely more heavily on alcohol as a coping mechanism. Fortunately, Nimoy recognized the dangers of his addiction before it spiraled out of control. In 1987, he sought professional treatment and successfully overcame his dependence on alcohol. This turning point coincided with finding renewed happiness in his second marriage. Britney Spears. Britney Spears, a pop music icon who transformed the teen pop landscape in the late 1990s and early 2000s, became a cultural touchstone for her generation. Beneath the veneer of dazzling performances and hit records, however, Spears faced deep personal challenges, including substance use and mental health difficulties. The year 2007 proved pivotal, coinciding with her highly publicized separation from Kevin Federline. During this turbulent period, public awareness of her struggles with substance use and erratic behavior intensified. Under the relentless glare of the media spotlight, Spears' personal life unraveled, marked by a series of troubling events. As her situation deteriorated, reports emerged of a possible suicide attempt, accompanied by disturbing allegations that Spears believed herself to be the Antichrist. Recognizing the seriousness of her struggles, Spears sought help through rehabilitation. Her path to recovery, however, was far from straightforward. During this time, she received a bipolar disorder diagnosis, which offered some explanation for her previous actions. Through appropriate treatment and the support of those around her, Spears gradually regained control of both her personal and professional life. Daniel Baldwin. A critical point in Daniel Baldwin's personal struggles came in 1998 when a bizarre incident at New York's Plaza Hotel made headlines. Found running naked through the hotel corridors while yelling his own surname, he was subsequently arrested for cocaine possession. Following the incident, Baldwin pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct and received a sentence of 3 months in a drug rehabilitation facility. He later revealed that his cocaine use began in 1989, around the time he secured his first acting role. At the age of 29, Baldwin fell prey to the drug's powerful grip, an addiction that would dominate his life for years. Unlike many individuals who struggle with multiple substances, Baldwin's sole vice was cocaine. He abstained from heavy drinking, pill use, and smoking. The drug's profound hold on him was evident in his numerous attempts at rehabilitation. He entered rehab 9 times before finally breaking free from his addiction. Today, Daniel Baldwin has transformed his life. In addition to pursuing his acting career, he has become a recovery coach. Drawing upon his personal experiences, Baldwin now dedicates himself to assisting others grappling with addiction, offering guidance and hope through the lens of his own journey. Jodie Sweetin. Jodie Sweetin, widely recognized for her portrayal of Stephanie Tanner on the popular sitcom Full House, faced significant challenges after the show concluded. Her journey into substance use began at the young age of 14 with alcohol. Over the following 13 years, Sweetin battled various addictions, including ecstasy, methamphetamine, and crack cocaine. Her substance use led her down dark and difficult paths, a stark contrast to her wholesome television persona. In 2009, Sweetin bravely chronicled her struggles in her memoir, Unsweetened, candidly discussing her fight with addiction following the end of Full House. One particularly striking anecdote involved addressing a crowd at Marquette University in Wisconsin, while still under the influence after 2 days of substance use. Despite these hardships, Sweetin achieved sobriety in December 2008. Her path, however, was not without its bumps. Following a separation in 2013, she experienced a relapse but quickly regained her focus, transforming her past into a source of strength. Sweetin began working as a clinical logistics coordinator at a Los Angeles rehabilitation facility and earned a degree in drug and alcohol counseling, utilizing her experiences to support others facing similar challenges. Comment "OK" if you found this video interesting. Your engagement helps us grow. Thank you. Drew Barrymore. Hollywood embraced Drew Barrymore at a very young age, but her early fame carried a heavy price. Her debut in E.T. at age 7 brought instant widespread recognition, arriving before she could fully comprehend its impact. Hailing from a prominent acting dynasty, Barrymore's connection to the entertainment world predates even that, with appearances in commercials starting at just 11 months old. Her childhood was far from typical, punctuated by experiences like consuming Baileys with ice cream at the tender age of 7. The intense pressures of celebrity life took their toll early on. By the age of 9, Barrymore had developed an alcohol dependency, and by 12, she was using drugs. She reached a crisis point at 13, attempting suicide and subsequently requiring hospitalization. The added complication of her parents' divorce at age 9 exacerbated these difficulties. Her mother's introduction of Barrymore to the frenetic Hollywood nightlife, including venues like Studio 54, exposed her to an environment far too mature for her age. At 14, Barrymore made the difficult but decisive move to become legally emancipated from her parents. finding herself working ordinary jobs like cleaning bathrooms to make ends meet. A stark juxtaposition to her previous life in the spotlight. Despite facing numerous setbacks and challenges, Barrymore ultimately found the inner strength to recover. With the support of friends like Cameron Diaz, she overcame her struggles and rebuilt her life. Today, she enjoys both a thriving career and a stable personal life, having emerged from the tumultuous period of her past. Stephen King. Stephen King, a name synonymous with horror, has penned some of the genre's most iconic stories. Works like It, The Shining, Misery, and Carrie have cemented King's status as one of history's most celebrated authors. Yet, behind his remarkable literary accomplishments lay a protracted struggle with substance dependence. For an extended period, King relied on alcohol to fuel his writing process. Beer became a constant presence as he crafted his terrifying tales. As his career progressed, so did his substance use, leading him to harder drugs like cocaine, which he favored for powering through late-night writing sessions. King's drug use reached alarming levels. He recounted using cotton balls to prevent blood from dripping onto his typewriter while writing under the influence. Over time, substance use became so intertwined with his creative process that King feared sobriety would hinder his writing. This fear created a significant barrier to seeking help, as he believed his addiction was essential to his professional success. Witnessing years of self-destructive behavior, King's family and friends intervened. While it took multiple attempts with appropriate support and treatment, the master of horror ultimately triumphed over his addiction to both drugs and alcohol. Ethel Gum. Born Frances Ethel Gum, in June 1922, Judy Garland became a Hollywood legend, forever identified with her role in The Wizard of Oz. Her life off-screen, however, was far from the idyllic world she portrayed. Signed by MGM as a teenager, Garland faced enormous pressures that would ultimately lead to a troubled life. These challenges escalated as she entered the Hollywood system. The studio imposed a rigid diet, constantly monitored her weight, and introduced her to amphetamines to keep her energy up. By the time she took on the role of Dorothy at 17, Garland was already fighting addiction. Later, Garland candidly discussed the less glamorous aspects of her early fame. She revealed that studio executives regularly gave her and fellow actor Mickey Rooney pills to combat exhaustion, followed by sedatives to help them sleep. This harmful cycle of stimulants and depressants laid the groundwork for Garland's lifelong battle with substance abuse. As MGM's most prominent and arguably most overworked star, she ultimately succumbed to severe addiction. The immense pressure of stardom and the grueling demands of her career led to multiple nervous breakdowns. Tragically, Garland's struggle with drugs cut her life short. She died of an overdose in June 1969 at the young age of 47. A devastating end to a life filled with both extraordinary talent and immense personal pain. Jeff Conaway. Jeff Conaway, best known as Kenickie in the classic musical Grease, struggled with addiction throughout his life, a battle that tragically culminated in his death in 2011. His substance use issues became public knowledge through his participation in the reality show Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, where his addictions to cocaine, alcohol, and painkillers were revealed. Despite acknowledging his problems in the mid-1980s and seeking treatment, Conaway's addiction persisted. His appearance on the show also highlighted a codependent relationship with his girlfriend, who struggled with prescription opiate addiction, further complicating his recovery efforts. Conaway's addiction was exacerbated by a back injury sustained while filming Grease. This injury worsened over time, leading to a heavy reliance on substances for pain management. Despite undergoing multiple surgeries and reporting some improvement in a 2009 interview, he never fully escaped his dependence on drugs. On May 11, 2011, Conaway was found unconscious, having apparently overdosed on painkillers. This final overdose marked the tragic end of his long battle with addiction. The substances he fought for so long ultimately claimed his life, casting a shadow over his career and legacy. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, a name synonymous with Hollywood glamour, left an enduring legacy shaped by both iconic performances and a troubled personal life. While adored by countless fans, Monroe privately battled substance use, depression, and possibly bipolar disorder, hidden beneath the surface of her glamorous image. As her career flourished, her mental health deteriorated. She began forgetting lines, experienced increasing despair and paranoia, and relied more heavily on alcohol and drugs as coping mechanisms. The immense pressure of maintaining her public persona while struggling with inner turmoil significantly impacted her well-being. In 1962, Monroe's life tragically ended when her psychiatrist found her deceased in her Brentwood home. The coroner determined the cause of death to be acute barbiturate poisoning, a fatal overdose that shocked the world and brought a premature end to a life marked by both extraordinary fame and deep personal struggles. The release of Monroe's personal poems, letters, and diary entries in 2010 offered further insight into the profound loneliness and insecurity that fueled her substance use. Her poignant words, "It's a terrible thing to be lonesome, especially in the middle of a crowd," revealed the isolation she felt despite her immense popularity. Monroe's struggles were compounded by relentless public scrutiny, including the unauthorized publication of nude photographs. Marilyn Monroe's early death, resulting from struggles with mental health and addiction, is profoundly sad. On a scale of 0 to 9, where 0 is not tragic at all, and 9 is extremely tragic, I'd rate it an 8. Elvis Presley. The death of Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, at age 42, shocked the world. Found deceased in the bathroom of his Graceland mansion, the vibrant performer, known for his energetic performances, was but a shadow of his former self. A toxicology report revealed a fatal combination of drugs, including Dilaudid, Percodan, Demerol, codeine, and Quaaludes. This tragic end stood in stark contrast to his public image and earlier opposition to drug use. Central to Elvis's drug dependency was his personal physician, Dr. George Nicopolis, often referred to as Dr. Nick. What began as treatment for Elvis's back pain rapidly escalated into a severe opiate addiction. Dr. Nick later admitted to prescribing thousands of pills to Elvis, at times attempting to substitute placebos, but ultimately succumbing to the star's demands. The irony of Elvis's death was painfully obvious. The man who had received a commendation from President Nixon for his anti-drug stance ultimately succumbed to the very substances he had publicly denounced. Mischa Barton. Known for her roles in James Mangold's Girl Interrupted and the TV show The O.C., Zrenia Mischa Barton has publicly acknowledged a significant battle with substance abuse. While the highly publicized incident involving a possible date rape drug is widely remembered, the depth of Barton's struggles appears far more complex. Sources close to the actress described a decline fueled by drug use. Text messages revealed attempts to obtain substances like Adderall, Xanax, and Rohypnol, and references to a known cocaine dealer indicate a more extensive involvement with illegal drugs than initially understood. Barton's difficulties reached a crisis point on her 31st birthday. Neighbors found her exhibiting distressed behavior, standing on a fence in her West Hollywood backyard, expressing apocalyptic anxieties. They called 911, leading to her hospitalization. After her release, Barton claimed her drink had been spiked with GHB, a common date rape drug, at her birthday party. However, given evidence of previous substance use, this claim has been met with skepticism. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, a musical icon and a defining cultural figure of the 20th century, concealed a severe drug addiction behind his groundbreaking music and iconic performances. This addiction ultimately contributed to his untimely death. Reports suggest Jackson used up to 19 aliases to obtain drugs during the final 15 years of his life. His addiction reportedly began after a 1984 accident on the set of a Pepsi commercial, resulting in serious burns. Doctors prescribed opioids to manage the intense pain, a decision Jackson later cited as the origin of his dependence. In 1993, Jackson sought treatment through rehabilitation and a 12-step program. Despite these efforts, his substance use continued throughout his life. Despite interventions from friends and family, Jackson largely resisted help, remaining in denial about the extent of his problem. Tragically, in 2009, at the age of 50, Jackson died from cardiac arrest caused by a lethal combination of sedatives and propofol, a powerful anesthetic administered by his doctor to help him sleep. His physician was subsequently convicted of involuntary manslaughter, but this came too late to save the legendary performer. Jackson's death remains one of the most discussed tragedies in entertainment history. Joanna Moore. Once lauded as Hollywood's golden girl and the first wife of Ryan O'Neal, Joanna Moore, born Dorothy Joan Cook, suffered a tragic fall from grace due to addiction. Before her struggles with substance abuse took hold, Moore enjoyed a successful career, appearing in over 17 feature films and making guest appearances in more than 100 television shows. In 1970, she sought treatment for her addiction, but less than a year later, a drunk driving arrest led to the loss of custody of her children. Moore's marriage to Ryan O'Neal in 1963 produced 2 children, Tatum and Griffin. While O'Neal's career thrived, Moore's declined, deepening her depression. Following their divorce, her life spiraled downward as her reliance on amphetamines and alcohol intensified. She moved her family to a rundown ranch, attempting to provide care for troubled young people. However, her daughter Tatum later recounted a chaotic and abusive home environment characterized by substance use and neglect. Moore's ongoing battle with addiction ravaged her life and relationships. Ultimately, her heavy smoking contributed to her death from lung cancer in 1997, marking the end of a once promising career overshadowed by profound personal struggles. Mary-Kate Olsen. Mary-Kate Olsen, one of the Olsen twins and fondly remembered as Michelle Tanner on Full House, encountered significant personal difficulties during her adolescence. While her on-screen image was charming, she privately struggled with self-esteem issues, resulting in unhealthy habits such as excessive drinking and smoking. These behaviors intensified during her high school years, coinciding with the onset of severe anorexia. As she transitioned into adulthood, she attended social gatherings where marijuana and cocaine use were prevalent, ultimately leading to substance abuse. Speculation about Mary-Kate's substance use increased significantly following the tragic drug overdose death of her friend, Heath Ledger. She was reportedly among the first contacted after his passing, and her legal team sought counsel regarding the investigation into the drugs involved. Subsequently, Mary-Kate entered a 6-week rehabilitation program, officially for her anorexia, though reports suggested it also addressed her substance abuse. Happily, Mary-Kate has since made a positive life transformation, achieving sobriety and putting that difficult chapter behind her. Corey Haim. Corey Haim, a Canadian actor best known for his captivating performance in The Lost Boys, achieved fame alongside his close friend Corey Feldman. While audiences celebrated his memorable on-screen roles, few were privy to his intense personal struggles. Haim's substance use problems began during his teenage years, coinciding with his rise to fame. As his career progressed, so did his reliance on drugs. Haim later acknowledged that the pressures of filming License to Drive exacerbated his addiction. Although Haim claimed to have overcome his substance use after a family vacation in 1989, his battle continued. By 2001, he had completed up to 15 rehabilitation programs, grappling with a persistent dependence on prescription medications. Sadly, he never fully conquered his addiction. In the final 32 days of his life, Haim illegally obtained over 553 prescription pills, highlighting the severity of his struggle. While drugs weren't the direct cause of his death from pneumonia at age 38, his tragic story underscores the hidden battles many in Hollywood face. Ryan O'Neal. Audiences were initially captivated by Ryan O'Neal's charm and acting talent, evident in his prominent roles in Peyton Place and the iconic Love Story. His Hollywood success, however, was frequently overshadowed by a turbulent personal life marked by addiction and violence. A disturbing picture emerges from accusations against O'Neill. He allegedly fired a gun at his son, Griffin, and introduced him to cocaine at the incredibly young age of 11. This decision, according to Griffin, irrevocably changed the course of his life. O'Neill's actions have been widely condemned as abusive, contributing significantly to the O'Neill family's reputation as one of Hollywood's most dysfunctional families, with nearly every member having struggled with substance abuse. His contributions to film and television remain substantial despite the chaos of his personal life. Yet, the turmoil and suffering he inflicted, especially on his family, are now undeniably part of his legacy. The poignant reminder of this complex reality came with O'Neill's death on April 8, 2023. His career was marked by notable achievements, but his life was equally defined by personal struggles that left a lasting impact on those who knew him best. The devastating impact of addiction on these 25 Hollywood icons serves as a stark warning. Their stories, a mix of tragedy and resilience, remind us of the hidden battles fought behind the camera. Which transformation shocked you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more untold stories from Hollywood's hidden history.